Good evening. For your enjoyment this evening, I have decided to tell you a story, have a wee rant, and illustrate it with some record covers from my record collection. They're not the best records, they just seemed right when I was writing the thing. This is Introducing by DJ Shadow, which is the best record. You'll have to get the rest yourselves. Once there was a boy, and he was a brave boy. How did he know this? Because everyone kept telling him so. Every time he cut his knee or got stung by a nettle or bumped his head, they told him, what a brave boy. Such a brave boy. Even sometimes, have you ever seen such a brave boy? Then, when he was 11, he broke his wrist. And although the hospital had never used local anesthetic on a full arm of somebody his age before, they stuck a giant needle into his arm. It's about this long. And it was the sorest thing he'd ever felt. And he cried and he sobbed and he screamed more than he'd ever done before. And he was rendered like hated needles for the rest of his life, basically. But all the while, the nurse said, what a brave boy. Such a brave boy. Have you ever seen such a brave boy, doctor? So he knew he was a brave boy. And the boy grew to manhood and became religious and evangelical. And the leaders of the church called him a brave man. And, again with the too fast, they sang a song and they put their hands in the air and they shouted, be brave, be strong, for the Lord your God is with you. It said. So he was. And he knocked on doors in Belfast and Newtownards and Bangor and Carrickfergus, Coleraine and Tandragee and Belgium. Yes, Belgium. That's Belgium. The leaders of the church called him brave, courageous even. And then he joined a Christian rap band called Run to JC. He took Duke Special's place because he went off to be a proper musician. And he stood on the street and beatboxed for Jesus and went on stage and rapped about God. And he took the lyrics of popular music and changed them so that he made people think about their immortal souls. God's unbelievable, I shit you not. And the church leaders called him brave. And then, in a surprising moment of clarity, he realised Run to JC were a bit shit. And beatboxing for Jesus wasn't really for him, so he left. But people still said he was brave. Then he met a girl who he immediately fell for. So he summoned up all his courage and he asked her out. But after a while, he decided the brave thing to do was to end it. And after another while, he realised that he'd made a mistake. And if he was brave enough, he would swallow his pride and try and get her back, which wasn't easy. But it was worth it, and she took him back. And then they were both brave enough to get married at 25. And he went on being brave, working on the Shankill, leaving the church over their stance on homosexuality, being a complete pain in the arse while working at Belfast City Council to his bosses, bravely sticking his fingers up at them for 10 years. And then when they eventually sacked him, ironically for once for a crime he didn't commit, people said he was brave. And when he set up his own business, he started working for Culture Night. And he didn't have the church anymore, and he didn't cut his knee as much. But now he had the internet. And now lots more people could tell him he was brave. And when, after 6 years, he told people that he was moving on from Culture Night to concentrate on his own business, don't tweet that, people said he was brave, except his wife, who said, what the fuck are you doing? And yesterday, a friend sent him a text calling him brave for making a comment on the internet. So then, when somebody asked him what bravery was, he couldn't answer, but he knew he was brave. But aren't suicide bombers brave? Aren't they really fucking dicks, but brave? Right? So when we tell our children or our peers that they're brave, what is it that we're doing? We want to affirm them. We want to assure them that they're on the right path. The skelf will be out in a minute. Hold still. Keep knocking on those doors. Jesus is proud of you. Keep sticking it to the man so I don't have to. Close your eyes and think of Allah. Those virgins will be along in a minute. More often than not, when people say be brave, they mean keep going. Have the courage of your convictions. Don't give up. As a culture, we don't celebrate the stubborn, the Olympians, the single-minded, the zealots. We vilify the flip-floppers and the turncoats and the U-turners. Compromise is one thing. Compromise is learning to accommodate other people's positions alongside your own. You're not changing your position, you're just being less of a dick about it. So I propose that real bravery is properly considering that you may be wrong, that the sacrifices you've made, the doors you've knocked, and all that beatboxing. That thing that you thought was central pole to your life isn't really there. And I'm not just talking about religion here. I'm talking about identity. Would you change your identity? Could you? your politics, your internet persona, your flag, your beliefs? Are you brave enough to strip that stuff away? Do you cling to it like a rock in the storm? Or are you prepared to let go? Is loyalty or blind faith really that brave? Certainly, society seems to want to paint it like that, but I propose that true bravery is self-awareness, awareness and acceptance of our fallibility and strengths, but most importantly, the openness to be wrong. Openness to having been wrong for years. And I would make a plea that we celebrate fluid identity. These people who want their country back, basically they're scared, right? Scared of change. So by all means, have conviction. Please have beliefs. Believe the fuck out of whatever you like. But also, let's embrace doubt. Celebrate uncertainty. Most of all, let's celebrate the people who change. Why can't people change their minds, especially in politics? I want leaders to I don't want bravers to be bravely standing by what they believe. I want leaders who understand that this is not 1690 or 1916 or even 1990. I want leaders to lead us not into coexistence, but into shared identity, or a shared mess of fluid, complex, conflicting, but interwoven identities. So to finish, to look at the road you've taken, the things that you've said 1,000 times, the succession of life choices that you've made based on an identity, to think about how your identity has been instrumental in bringing you to this point, and after all that, to still be open to the possibility of fundamental change, to rip it up and start again, and to always be prepared to do that over and over and over. That's what I think bravery is.